Now we're ready for you, Andrea. You are our beautiful speaker today, and you have a very powerful personal message, and I'm really excited for you to share. Go ahead.
Thank you, Amber. Am I audible and visible before we get started? Give me a thumbs up in the chat, in the visual. I'm all right.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, I connected with this beautiful spirit, Amber McCarthy, that you have, who is all about living from her heart. Well, let me tell you a brief story about how I started. See, I was born in the war-torn drug zone era at its prime, joined the cartel of Colombia, South America. My parents were unable to care for me, so at 11 pounds, at 11 months, they put me up for adoption and I came to America. Well, my adoptive parents opened their arms with unconditional love and said that I was their treasure. Who would have known the preceding steps were tragedy? Ladies and gentlemen, at one point, our story is told to us when we are younger. But at what point, and at one point, when do you take the pen in your own hand? Well, I remember traveling on this journey and being that I didn't look like my parents. I didn't act like them. I had different features. I didn't have any biological medical records or photographs of my own. So I was fitting in. And what is the biggest question we ask ourselves today? Through life's adversity, what is our identity? Who are we? We have to learn that we are authentic and always act with integrity. When was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, I am proud of you? But most importantly, when was the last time you looked in the mirror and said, I forgive you? We go around this world in constant competition and concern of the unknown and the uncertain, wondering where we are. How come I'm not like him? How come I'm not like her? When is it my chance? I just want to get by. Well, that was my whole identity in life, learning how to fit in. But I remember the American actor Matthew McConaughey stating, find out what it is that you don't want to be, and then you'll find out the carving of who you are, paraphrased, of course. Well, as a victim of bullying and abuse of every single kind during my childhood, elementary, middle, and high school years, I was always trying to fit in. I was always going against the grain and seeing which piece of the puzzle I had to fill, which void in that heart, and my heart was I missing. And as I have gone through the years, I decided I was going to be the face of change to mental health. Why? Because I was a victim of bullying and abuse amongst my peers, coworkers, and friends. And then I decided I wanted to take a deeper dive and go into the industries of psychology, understanding the mindset behind it, the science behind it. And then in 2020, for me, it was clarity. I was able, the world was constantly in changing and everybody was isolated. Well, on social media, I heard a familiar voice. Someone of the great stature that I've been studying for years, Dr. Les Brown. He said, are you going through it or are you growing through it? That was my calling. Fast forward, I decided I was going to take his academy and I've successfully graduated. I'll never forget Thanksgiving Eve where I was able to speak with the man virtually himself. He was one and still is one of the top 10 legendary motivational speakers. And I was graciously able to meet him in person with my family, August 2022. I go to the best. I learn from the best. But what puts people in my tribe, in my network, just like Amber, they remember where they came from. And they know what their mission is. What is your mission? What is your message? You know, I lost my mom, unfortunately, in 2007. I'll never forget that day. But I realized that I just had to keep going. I was driven. I was determined. I had a vision. But ladies and gentlemen, our health is our number one asset. And if we don't take care of ourselves, how can we take care of others? And what happened, fast forward 9 years later, I was in the hospital, ICU unit, on my terminal bed, where they said, if we can't find anything, this is where you'll stay until further notice. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I decided to study the law of attraction. The late, great virtual coach, Bob Proctor, came into my mind. And he said that thoughts become things. I'll never forget the conversation with the family member, and I made it an homage, a promise to myself that I was going to leave these hospital walls. Here I am before you with a clean bill of health and going stronger. So forgive yourself. Louis B. Smead said, to forgive someone is to set the prisoner free, only to realize the prisoner is you. Whether you're a victim of abuse, you're a victim of bullying, or at times we are our own worst victim of our own mind. I want you to remember this, and I want you to take this to heart. Through life's trials and tribulations, triumphs are won. Through life's miracles, magic is made. I'm a living testimony. And when you choose in this crazy game of life to press play, plan life according to you, success and happiness are on the other side. So before you go to sleep tonight, look in the mirror. Be bold enough and brave enough and say, I am going to follow my heart, not the herd nor the hurt, for success and happiness are on the other side. As your accountability coach, a certified global motivational speaker under Dr. Les Brown, and an author, I am here to let you know I do not dictate, I do not judge, I do not lecture. I am your personal accountability coach who walks beside you every step of the way when you're ready and willing to choose to press play. Plan life according to you. Thank you, Amber. Back to you.
Absolutely.
Well
Holy cow,
spoken.
that was amazing. Thank you so much for that speech. So you also mentioned that you had a book. Could you go ahead and share with us like where we could possibly get that book?
Yes, absolutely. A little tug, just like Wesley gives you to remind yourself to plug yourself. Yes, I have just completed my book, Victim to Victorious, which is now available on Amazon. I know I actually got research from my audience that in the North America, South America, as well as I believe it's Europe. It could be found on Amazon.com. However, for my audiences in Asia, they have to go to Amazon.co.uk. All the information is on my page. I will provide that with Amber. And it is my gift to everyone else. A gift of closure, a gift of transparency and authenticity. And in the beginning of the book is a guide, a pathway, if you will, of the path less traveled, how I chose to press play and become victim to victorious. Thank you.
Very well spoken, young lady.
Absolutely.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. Truly appreciate it. It's an honor and privilege to be here. You know, when people, like I mentioned, like Amber, really follow their heart and realize it's not about them, it's about others and service to others. I've been globally successfully able to speak on every single continent in this world, with the exception of Antarctica, which I did have. There was just a timeline glitch. But what has happened was I realized three things. Everyone just wants to be loved, understood, and respected. And when we keep that mind and momentum as humanity, then that is truly when we rise and unite and not conquer and divide. Thank you, everyone, for your time. It's a gift, never to be wasted, and never can be back. Thank you for your presence, everyone.
Where's home base?
So I'm in North America, the metropolitan area. Due to the nature of my previous employers working in the social work and psychology industry fields, I have to be respectful of specific details. But I am on the East Coast.
Okay.
Thank you.
That is wonderful. Does anybody have any questions for Andrea? Where she's traveled, more of her speech? Go ahead, Dan, take it away.
Just specifically, what's the name of the book again? Because I just tried to find it and there's lots of almost
Yes, I was speaking with Amazon yesterday and we tried to figure it. They actually helped me. So what I was told the step process was going to Amazon, selecting all category, then going to books, step 2, and then type in victim to victorious. I am going to put, if I may, either I want to ask Amber's discretion where she wants me to post it. I do have a QR code and a link, but again, it's also dependent on the region. So if you want, I can enclose it here. If not, it'll be on the notes. And it's also on my website, andreamasons.com, and I'm on all media handles as well as LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, and I have about over 1,000 videos on YouTube of all myriads of content as well to help people. I just want to help people.
Well, it's a common title and there's already someone out there with that title. So that's why I asked the question.
Yes, absolutely. And I was going to write it differently because it is portionally dedicated to my mother, as her name was Victoria. So I just thought it was fitting, Victoria's. But yes,
Right.
it is available. So yes, so if anybody needs, connect with me, or I'll provide the link to Amber so she can post it wherever it may need to be. Thank you.
Have you done any
Yeah, you
stuff
can
in
definitely.
Canada?
Pardon me, somebody
You
just asked a
done-
question.
Have you done anything in Canada?
Not yet. Not yet. I that's on my bucket list right now. I put all goals in quarters. So 3rd quarter of this year was finalizing the book. So if there's any leads or anybody knows, I welcome the opportunity. Absolutely. I welcome anything. I have spoken like I said, spoken virtually on every single continent. I was a featured speaker at the Latino Travel Fest. I also spoke at my alma mater as well, so Pennsylvania. So I welcome all referrals and opportunities. Absolutely. Thank you.
I'm on a board of directors for a company out of Canada, a nonprofit organization in Canada that deal with mental health and addictions. And you
Oh.
sound like you would fit right in.
Oh, thank you so much. Yes, I've serviced, like I said, I've serviced over 2 decades in the industry fields in liaison between hospitalizations, homeless individuals, men and women, families, children, shelters. I've done it all. And then, so now I decided I could be more and do more. Let me bring it to the virtual stage to connect with more people worldwide. And I've actually, one of the milestones I was able to do was to speak into several orphanages in both Africa and their countries, as well as Asia and their countries. So thank you. Yes, I welcome the connections. Yes, thank you.
Thank you for what you do.
Oh, thank you so much. When I was going through my trials and tribulations, my parents, were sought out, for guidance. And I'll never forget, not to do a spoiler alert, but it goes into depth in my book. I had spoken with someone and the feedback and response wasn't welcomed, and it really tested my faith. It tested my mindset. So I said, well, I wouldn't want anyone to experience this going forward. I remember as my later years in the industries of social work and psychology, I made a declaration that I was going to leave all of the, I guess you would say, progress reports, diagnoses, and clipboards at the office, because that's someone's mother, daughter, sister, brother, uncle. So I just went there and, prepped to speak to them as an individual. And I was constantly called back by the inmates, the clients, the children, the families. And unfortunately, it was frowned upon the agency because in their eyes, which I understand, it was a liability because I didn't know their history of abuse, neglect, substance abuse, or whatself. And I'll be quite honest, there were some environments of my petite stature, especially as a female, where it was dangerous. But I was able to provide solutions. I was able to be the face advocate on both sides. And that's what makes me authentic. And that's why I really want to help people, because I know what it was like when I tried to confide in people. And it was either non-believable, or it was just like, oh, at that time, children in my day and age were seen and not heard. So that's what transformed my transition in the later years, and then decided to just step out on my own. So thank you.
As I say, people don't care how much you know, but how much.
Yes, it's funny you mentioned that, Pamela, because I just said that as a gratitude statement by Maya Angelou. People don't care how much you know until they know how much you care. And that is what I truly wholeheartedly believe. I live life from my heart. My parents instilled in me at a very young age, Andrea, no matter what you do what you love and do your best. And that's what I've always, I've never asked for anything more than anybody else. I give 100%. If I'm able to give you 99.9%, I still decline because it's not right. I want to be invested all in and give you the best version of myself. And in order for me to do that, I need to be at tip-top shape for myself. Thank you
All
so
right.
much, Amber, for having me. It's an honor, privilege, and pleasure. Thank you so much. Truly grateful.
Oh, you are welcome. Thank you so much for your message.
Always good to meet talented people.
Yeah.
Awesome. This was a wonderful meeting, and I look forward to Thursdays every morning. Amber puts on a great show, and more importantly, she makes it warm and inviting and friendly. There's no competitiveness, and there's no I'm better than you are because I'm Joe Blow and blah, 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 blah. Everybody's on a friendly, neutral basis. And you're giggling and laughing. And honestly, girl, that's what you do. And that's what makes this meeting so enjoyable.
Thank you, Santa.
Thank you,
thank you all
Santa.
for having me. I really have enjoyed it.
And we look forward to repeat performances from our guests. So we'll see you soon.
Yes, thank you.
And incidentally, just today I see 2 referrals that I can connect people with. Obviously, it's always caveat emptor, but you never know what the connections will lead to. And Santa, we need to refresh our one-to-one because you sparked some interest in Canada for me. So let's talk, my friend.
Yes, sir. Sounds like a plan.
Yes, indeed. So is it Andrea or Andrea?
Actually, it's Andrea.
Okay.
Like turning on a switch, Andrea. Andrea is the male version in Italian, and Andrea is the other Americanized version. I just chose that one. I just like the way it sounded. But if that's the worst you can call me, I'm cool with that.
I reserve the right to screw up at any time.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I just blame it on Santa because I know so many children with so many names, and I just do my best.
Yes, absolutely. I love what you do, Santa. So I look forward
It's truly changed my life. We need to have a one-to-one, girl, because you sound like an amazing speaker, and you've lived a lot of interesting times in your life by the sounds of things.
Yes, and I'm grateful for it because it's made me who the person I am today. So
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Amber, you're just sitting there smiling.
I just love it. I just love soaking it all in. All I hear are like little things that I get to edit out later. So it just brings me so much joy. Like her podcast little speech is going to be fantastic. So yes, I just hear so much nuggets and so much wealth and so much goodness coming from this group that I just want to edit it like 100 times and get it out there. So, but okay, guys, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to shut off the live.
Wait, just one thing I forgot. Speaking of podcasts, I do have a podcast. I'm on season 3, Unleashing the Champion Within. So I welcome anybody if they want to be a guest. It's really just spotlighting you and your Unleashing the Champion Within moment. So yes.
Beautiful. Thank you. All right, guys, I'm going to go ahead and stop the live stream. There we go.